It's a very different film from my last film, as you know. I first met a little boy named Eli who is in the film when he was
Yes.
6 years old in 2019 when I was producing a television show called We Day, and it was about young people across America doing good things in their community. And when I met Eli, he changed my life. We discovered him and his sister were had this little campaign called Come Say Hi to Eli, which the idea was, don't stare at him, but come say hi, and we can tell you about his condition, which happens to be epidermolysis bullosa or EB. And it was just such an inspiring story that after we had produced that segment for the television show, I reached out to Jill Vedder. And as I discovered, she was part of an organization that was recently started at the time called EB Research Partnership, that her and her husband Ed had started with a group of families to raise money for clinical research that would lead to ultimately treatments and hopefully a cure for the disease. And I just said, how can I help in my small way?
We talk about empathy, but sometimes humans beings like connect with empathy because something happens to you or to your
Mm.
family or wherever. But in this project, you, Eddie and Jill connected because of empathy,
Hmm.
not having someone related. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about this communal effort that is happening in matter of time.
That's really it. It's a very special community. I think that was what was so inspiring to me as a storyteller. And like you said, it's like human beings need to connect more and to see this really special community. This disease only affects 500,000 people worldwide. And it's so difficult and it's so tragic, but it's not sympathy. You do sympathize, but it is empathy. You want to be able to put yourselves in their shoes or those parents' shoes,
Mm.
and they would do anything to stop this disease. And so I feel like Ed and Jill probably felt the same way, as like, just what can we do in our way to help? And I felt the same way. And everyone that's involved in this community, whether it's the scientists who are brilliant, the families, the patients, obviously, but if the artists or, rock stars or whomever, I think they're touched by these kids. And I think the community is really authentic, and it really is about how do we heal this and ultimately cure it. And the patient's timeline is, it's really tough. And so everyone in their small way or big way, however it may be, whether through donations or art or just simply raising awareness, like Eli saying, come say hi, is like doing everything they can in this community to alleviate pain and really just, give these kids a shot at a better quality of life. And it's just that's the inspiring part. The community is really strong. And I think in a world where the problems seem insurmountable in right now, and we're not doing very good. So to see a community like this that is doing well by the people they're trying to serve, and they're working tirelessly just to help, and that's it. And that's all they want, because that's what the parents want, and that's what these kids want. It's just super inspiring.
Having a question, but when I watched the documentary, I was thinking about you and your role as a director, that I think it could be also difficult because you have to separate a little bit and be being an observant of this
Mhm.
of everything. So I wanted to ask you, how much time did you get involved in the process to make all the documentary, and how do you change as a person between all this development?
It's a great question. In 2019, when I met Eli, like I said, he changed my life, but I didn't know it would change my life that much. I didn't realize that, you know, I would become this close with these families and this community. But I think I'm really grateful. It's challenging because I'm so grateful that I know these people. I'm so grateful to be a small part of this. But at the same time, I wish I didn't have to be part of it, that no one had to be part of it, that it would just didn't exist. So that's a challenging thing. You know, to I really am thankful for the families that were involved in the film because they trusted me in really delicate private situations to have a camera there. It was small crew all the time, but still it's a very vulnerable place.
Yes.
And as a filmmaker or someone with a camera, you have to disassociate a little bit when capturing some of the moments you see in the film and be strong for them because they're being strong and they're giving so much. So for me to say it was challenging, it's true, but I'm very hesitant because they go through so much and they give so much. And so it changed me in so many ways. I could talk for hours about it. I I I can't articulate and I hope the film expresses this, but the wisdom and the strength and the message of hope and living in the moment with people, whoever they are, comes through because I feel like Eli in the film or Deanna Molinaro you see in the film and Rowan and these people who are living with this disease. There's something that they put out into the universe that I can't really put words to, but it is, the saying are wise beyond their years, I don't think does it justice, but they changed me to, make sure that I am very present and grateful for the things that I have. Yeah, so the scientists that are featured in the film, they are rock stars. There's a lot of rock stars in this film. Literal rock star and rock star families and patients and these scientists who have dedicated their lives to this. They are brilliant is an understatement. Dr. Jean Tang, who's at Stanford, um, who is incredibly inspiring. She said, "Oh, Matt, the film's so great. The editing and it's so beautiful." And I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm editing video. You're editing genes. It's very different. And so what you're doing is far more important." And, I think their dedication to this community, um, is beautiful. And, it's a challenging space and to be able to fund a clinical trial and get it from, the bench in a lab to the bedside of a patient takes a long time and a lot of resources. And, they are under-resourced. And really, the film saying a matter of time, part of that time is really making sure that we can get the fund clinical trials all the way through to the FDA, which I'm happy to say, since we started the film, in the film, you see one FDA approved treatment that had happened recently. Now there's three.
Definitely. And also, they are doing a great impact, doing the blueprints that could help other diseases. So it's an amazing job. And to wrap up, Matt, there's a beautiful connection that sometimes could move mountains, that, as you said, that is art. And art can be a channel to help causes. And in this case, Eddie Vedder use his platform. You use your platform. So, how important do you think art can be to social development and humanity?
Yeah, I love that you said that. I think art's really important, especially at this time where the world has so many
Mhm.
problems and challenges that art needs to push through, Art brings truth, Art expresses who we are, and to be able to be part of a film or a cause, like in my small way, it means everything. Hopefully in 10 years, EB becomes a thing of the past and we can all be really proud of what we've done. Um, the other really interesting thing when you bring up art, in the film, Deanna Molinaro is an artist. Sorry, my
Yes.
phone's ringing. Deanna Molinaro is an artist and a beautiful one, and
Mhm.
used her art to express herself through her pain, and and bringing so much joy to people through that. And a lot of this was not by design, but you see Rowan drawing in the film. You see Eli, also an incredible artist, but like art getting through things. And I feel like a lot of EB patients do use art to express themselves, to like move through pain, and challenges. And, that's really inspiring.